Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Excuse the scenery right now. We are sitting right in front of my closet. Ignore this. I'm in the middle of editing a video right now. It's my news video going up, right now. It's just a mukbang. Okay. So for today's video, I'm just sitting, I'm literally on the floor right now in my bedroom, and sorry if I look a total mess right now. I just, got back from work, and I took a shower, didn't wash my hair. Clearly, as you can see, it's not wet. It's not hair washing day, okay? And so for today's video, I thought that it would be kind of fun to kind of go through my entire brush collection, because I've recently added brand new brushes to my collection. I mean, obviously, I do not think I'm going to be stopping adding more brushes to my collection by any means necessary, but yeah, that's just what I thought that we could do today, because I was like cleaning up my room and everything, and it's time to wash my brushes, and then I was just like, you know what, I have a lot of brushes, let me just put them in a video real quick. Alright, we'll just start. Yeah, we'll just start. Okay, we're just gonna start, not in any particular like brush order. We're just gonna start with the brushes that need to be cleaned desperately, and that is all of these brushes. As you can see, most of them are pink, and that is because these were the brushes that I used for my Halloween makeup look. It is on up on my Instagram. You can definitely check that out. But yeah, let's just go through the brushes that are inside here. Let's just start with this one. So, this is the Morphe M527. Oh, real quick though, before I continue on though, I do have a lot of Morphe brushes. This video is not sponsored by Morphe whatsoever. I wish it was, but that's not the case. So, I just really love their brushes. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Again, this is the Morphe M527 brush. This is my bronzer brush. I love I love using this as my bronzer brush because it's nice, and it's really nice and fluffy, and it disperses the color really nicely because it's like the bristles are very flexible, you know. It's very easy to get that nice dispersed amount of color without it just looking like a harsh line. It blends it so nicely. But yeah, so yeah, that's that one. What's next? Oy. This guy right here, this is the Morphe M432 brush. This is just a flat definer brush. I love using this brush like right here, you know, for the lower lash line to get colors really close to the waterline without actually going inside of the waterline. Next up, this is a Real Techniques brush. This is their, it's called their setting brush. There's a crap load of pink on this one. There's still pink coming up. Oh, yep. I don't know if you could see that, but yeah, pink is... Why am I doing that? Good thing my shirt's pink. I personally love using this brush to apply loose highlighters with, just because the brush is small enough to just go right into it, and it like just presses it on very nicely. I have a lot of different types of highlighter brushes just based on how the brush feels and what kind of bristles they have and just the shape of the brush. You'll see in a minute. So yeah, that's what that brush is used for. Next one is the Morphe M510, sorry, the M310 brush. This is the fan brush. And yeah, this is another highlighter brush that I have. I love using this to apply my powder Like my regular powder highlighters, like my pressed powder highlighters, I love using this brush to apply it with because it disperses it really, really nicely, and you can like swirl it around if you are worried about it giving you that straight line, although it doesn't do that for me. So yeah, that's what I use this brush for. All right, next up we have the Morphe M224 brush. This is just a flat synthetic brush. I love using this to pack on pigments onto my lid. Not necessarily when I'm trying to be the most organized, just because it is very big. It's for more so when I'm trying to get that like diffused, dispersed color, but a lot of that pigment. Alright, next up, this is actually a Sephora brush. This is, it's called their, what is this called? Oh my god, the writing is like blurred. It's just called their blending brush. Okay. So this brush right here, I love using this brush for like just diffusing all of my crease colors together. Most of the time, this will be one of the brushes that I will have clean just to diffuse all colors and melt them together, just so that there's no harsh lines, that they're just like very smooth. It's a nice color melt, like a nice gradient. That's what I use this brush for. Next up, the Big Mama brush. This is the Morphe E11 brush. This is my body brush just for applying any type of powder onto the body, whether it's highlighter or like setting powder to the body. Like, this is what I use that brush for, and I really, really honestly love it. Alright, next up is the Morphe M167 brush. This is another synthetic brush, and it's a little bit shorter than the other synthetic Morphe brush that I showed you. Therefore, it's a little bit easier to be more precise with this, but still not like, I mean, this by no means is what I would use as like a detail brush, but it's still really, really nice for packing on that pigment, to be, if you wanted to be a little bit more focused. Next up is this guy right here. This brush I actually got in my Ipsy Glam bag. This is the Good Night 110 brush by Luxie, and this is a weird little guy, honestly. Like, it's very, very flat, it's short bristled, it's pretty dense, but with that being said, because of the short bristleness of it and the firmness of it, this brush right here I actually really love using for initially packing on color for like a halo eye, because it's the perfect size to get right in here and right out there, just to originally stamp that color on. That's what I love using this brush for. Alright, next up is the Morphe M441 brush. This is another blending brush. This is what I love. It's fluffy enough where it diffuses and disperses color, but it's firm enough where it packs on a lot of pigment. And there's like a nice, like, the center of the brush is the longest, so you can get like right into that eye socket. Alright, next up is the Morphe M431 pencil brush. I have a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but I do have quite a few, not pencil brushes, but lower lash line brushes. I think besides this one, I only talked about one of them, which is that flat definer brush. And this color right here is what I use for the lower lash line to connect it all together to the outer corner, like all onto the top, because this brush right here, it's dense enough to pack on all of that color, and it's pointy enough to get it really precise. This brush right here, I actually got a few of these kinds of brushes. I actually got them in the mail. Oh my god, they're from this brand on Instagram. Let me look them up really quickly because I am forgetting the brand name. as of right now. I am so sorry. So the brand is called Slay Bella brand. Again, they're on Instagram. This is them. Oh my god, lighting. Oh my god, let me try dimming my phone. But yeah, this is their page. So far, I'm absolutely loving the brushes that I received from them. And yeah, again, so far I'm really loving them. This one in particular, it doesn't have a name on it, but this is what it looks like. This is basically a really long pencil brush. And again, nice and firm. This one I really love using for my nose contour. I think that this brush is so amazing for it because of the tip on it, you could be so precise, and then it has like some angles on it so that it like disperses the color really nicely, or you can just go straight down like this depending on how severe you want your nose contour to be. So yeah, that's what I use this brush for. And another one of their brushes, it looks like this. It's basically like a flat concealer brush. It kind of reminds me of the Morphe M421 brush. I'll put them up right next to each other. Yeah, that's what they look like. The Morphe one is just like a little bit wider, and then the Slay Bella brand is like literally the tiniest hair taller. But I mean, I use these brushes basically for the exact same reason. Like, one of them I'll use to like really carve out the crease. The other one is what I'll use to like really precisely lay on the color. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I use them for. Alright, next up we got the Morphe M433. This brush right here, it's a skinnier blending brush. This is what I use for really precisely getting that color blurred out in that inner part of the eye, because it can get really nicely in there. So yeah, that's what I love this brush for. You know what, let's continue talking about the rest of the Slay Bella brushes. So next is this one. This is their fan brush. This brush I actually use, this might sound very confusing, so hear me out. So this brush I actually use to connect the brow bone highlighter with the rest of the highlighter that's over here, and to precisely put it directly over the brow, straight down the nose. Like, it's what I use to like connect all of the highlighters together, just to make everything just flow a lot nicer. And then the last Slay Bella brush that I got is this one here. It's an angled brush, but it's a little bit thicker right here. So this is actually the brush that I like using for packing on the brow bone highlighter and the inner corner highlighter as well, and for highlighter on the Cupid's bow, just because it's a nice precise brush for that, but at the same time it's not too thin. So yeah, that's what I like to use this brush for. This is the, oh my god, the name is like completely scratched off of it. This is another Morphe brush, and it's also from their Elite collection. I think it might be, wait a minute, if this is the the Big Mama brush is the E41. I think this is the E11. I could totally be wrong though. This is what it is. Again, it's from Morphe and it's from their Elite collection, so it's the E something. I know that for a fact. Yeah, this is the brush that I like to use for my brows. Alright, moving right along. Next brush, this is the Morphe R35 brush. Looks like that. This is also a very dense brush, but it's still fluffy enough where it like can disperse color nicely. So after I initially pack on that pigment, I'll take this brush to like very lightly diffuse out the edges of it. That is what I love using that brush for. And another brush that I actually really love doing that with is the Morphe M562 brush. This very flimsy brush right here. I love using this for like very lightly diffusing out color if I'm doing more precise work. That's what I love using this brush for. Alright, I know that I said I was going in the order like dirty brushes first, then clean brushes, but yeah, looks like we're not doing that. Alright, next one is the Morphe M510, the classic brush right here. This is another highlighter brush that I have, and this is the brush that I love using for cream highlighters. It just picks it up very well, and it just disperses it on very nicely, in my opinion, you know. What do I have next? Okay, next brush that I have, this is the Morphe M250-1 brush. Like, oh my god, it's like so freaking tiny, you like can't even see it. But yeah, this is my liner brush, my gel liner brush. It just gives me the most precise, sharp wing. And yeah, that's what I use this brush for. Alright, next up, this is another brush that I got in my Ipsy Glam bag. This is by the brand Scone. It's called their Large Shadow Brush. Looks like that. And this is just, I mean, I don't really have something in particular that I use this brush for, really. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I'll use this to, like, really, like, carve out the top of my brows, even the bottom of my brows. I mean, alright, next we have the Morphe M508 brush. Looks like this little guy. This is another nice, very, very nice detailer brush. So if you're, like, doing, like, a halo eye and trying to get that cut right there, or if you're, like, needing extra help cutting the crease, or you need to, like, do some other precise work, like, that's what I love using this brush for. And I'm really into, like, theatrical makeup and Halloween makeup, so, like, I mean, even that Morphe M250-1 brush, if you, like, need to do, like, fake freckles, you know, or if you need to, like, draw a star on your face, like, that's even something that this brush could be used for as well. They're just really precise, amazing brushes. Alright, next up, we actually got some IT Cosmetics brushes up in here. This actually came, these brushes right here actually came in a little set. This one in particular is double-sided. There's this side, and then there's this side. This side right here, I actually use on my lower lash line, just to further help more, just packing on a lot of that color. And then this side right here, I love using, just working those colors on the lid just to really disperse and diffuse them. And I have another IT Cosmetics dual-ended brush. There's this side and this side. This side right here, this side is what I'll use to, like, pack on matte colors. Like, if I really want the most amount of pigment, not just a wash, I will use this end. And then this end right here, this, it's pretty dense, and it's just a regular blending brush. This is the brush that I will use to, like, more so precisely put on a transition color if the transition color needs to go on a little bit more precise. But if the transition color doesn't need to go on that precisely, I'll use this guy right here. It's another dual-ended brush, and I'll hold these both up for you together. This side is just slightly bigger and more fluffy, less dense than this side. So this is the side that I will use to just lay on, just pack on that transition color right away. And then the other side, this is the side that I use for, like, dispersing cream product on my face before further blending it. Yeah, that's what this side is for. And then speaking of dispersing cream products, we'll move on to my Morphe Y6 brush. This is what I use for my liquid products, like more liquid foundations. You know, I still do use beauty blenders, or beauty sponges, whatever. I just like to initially blur them out with this and then go over top. You know, I don't know why. It's just something I like to do. And this is the Morphe M173. This is a weird purpose little brush right here. It's a very big dome. It's actually like a smaller version of the Morphe M536. This brush right here I actually used to put a lighter color than my transition color, and literally I'll go all over my eyeball just to give one last dispersing blend. I'm telling you guys, it makes all the difference in the world. I don't know why or when I even, or how I even started doing that, but I do, and it really does make a big difference. Moving on to the Mama, the Morphe M536. Okay, so this is like a nice big dome brush right here, and this brush right here I actually like to use whenever I'm doing color correcting, whether it's, you know, for right under the eyes or around the mouth area or for just anything. This is the brush that I like to use for doing color correcting with, because it's precise enough at the very tip just to like get that color placement right there, but then you go in and it like disperses out the product without spreading it everywhere. It just gets it into those necessary areas, and I love that. Alright, next up we have another IT Cosmetics brush. This is actually their blush brush, and that's exactly what I use it for. This is my brand new favorite blush brush. I was using the Morphe E11. Oh, that one was the E11. Yeah. I was using the Morphe E11 brush, but I don't know, I just it broke, and I was just like, you know what? I don't know. It's not really doing anything for me. With this one, I don't know. I don't know. I just like this one better. Oh my gosh. Okay, next up is the Morphe M513 M513 brush right here. This is just a big fluffy blending brush. Normally this one's also clean. Again, it's what I go back in just to like diffuse and disperse everything. Next brush is another one that I got in my Ipsy Glam bag, and it's actually both of these right here. This one right here is all I know is that it's the T35 Precise Blending Brush. Yes, it is. This is the brush that I will use to smoke out that lower lash line, just getting everything nice and low. Sometimes I'll use it also like right up in here just to get everything nice and smoked out, like around the crease line if it needs a little bit more of a gradient effect. And then this one, yeah, the name is completely rubbed off of this one, but it looks like this. That's what it looks like right here. And with this one, I mean, with this one, again, there's not really like an actual designated place for this guy. Most of the time I'll use this to like blend my shadows like into my nose contour together, or I'll use this to like blend out the edges of my cleanup job for my brows, but yeah, that's what I'll use that for. Next up we have the Morphe E23 brush right here. This brush is what I use for packing on that extra coverage if I have a very bad breakout. That is, yeah, that's what I use this brush for. And then also on top of that breakout, just to make sure that it's, you know, extra covered while like dispersing the color good enough, this is the Morphe R3 brush right here. It's like a nice little like tulip brush. I'll use that to like pack, you know, the powder onto it while like, you know, while like dispersing out that color as well without trying to like really move the base. And it works really well because it's such a fluffy brush, but at the same time dense enough. Next one, this is actually another IT Cosmetics brush. It's not from that set though, it's just sold by itself. This is what it looks like. It's a weird looking little guy, I know. This is the the It Cosmetics 223 Highlight and Blending Brush. This is the brush that I love using for my concealer. Just like applying it on. It just disperses it very, very, very nicely. Yeah, I love the way that it disperses it. I really do. Next up, we have the Morphe M530 brush. This is my contour brush. I love using this to get a very nice, precise contour with. It works very, very well for me, and I love this brush for that reason. Alright, next up, I have some brushes that are very similar to each other. Again, not shock. This is the Morphe Y1 and the Y3. They look very, very similar. The Y3 is a little bit more pointed, more of that like, well, almost like a reverse hourglass shape. No, that is an hourglass shape. Yeah. And then the Y1 is just an all-over round brush. The Y1 brush I prefer using along with the, I call it the Big Mama, the E41 brush. I love using the Y1 for my body, just to like get for more like precise application. And then the Y3 brush, this is actually a brush that I love applying my primers with, not necessarily on myself, just because I'll use my hands on myself, but like if I'm doing other people, you know, or if I just need to put a primer in a certain area, you know, that's what I'll use this brush for. Alright, oh my god, we're almost done! Yay! Alright, next up, this is the last It Cosmetics brush that I have. It looks like this. This is their, oh my god, okay, sure, the name's not on it. That's great. This is probably the softest brush I have, and I love it so much. This is the brush that I like using to just dust all of my powder on and off of my face with. Like, again, whether it is applying the powder or if it is just dusting it off. Yeah, this is what I use that brush for. Alright. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Alright, now last but certainly not least. This is the Morphe M217. It looks like this little teensy weensy. This is just like a very good like detailer brush. Sometimes I'll use them for my wings, like just to like fill in, or I'll use this for like extra like detail work, like really getting into that inner corner, or really doing some detail work on the lower lash line, or like drawing like freckles, or like using this for like placing certain things, like whether it's like placing like glitter, like if you wanted to make like a candy cane eyeliner. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I use this for. Last but not least are my rose brushes. So this brush right here, it's a flatter brush. This is the brush that I use for baking. I'll literally just like press this shit on and just bake this like everywhere. Bam. And then this brush right here, this is the brush that I will use just to like blend and blur everything just together, just to give my skin, my face, just one last blend. And then this one right here, this is the guy that I will use for like brightening my under eye area with like a brightening powder that I have, or for my chin, or for like the center of my brows, a place where I want to highlight, but I don't want a like glowy highlight. Like I don't want to look shiny under my eyes or in between my brows or on my chin. We're done! Woo! That was loud. Okay. That is it for this video. I need to take like cough medicine, or like my get my inhaler. Something needs to happen right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video and what other types of videos you want to see in the comment section down below, and like this video if you liked seeing the brushes that I have and you just liked the video, and please subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more things in my makeup collection, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, okay, again, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. That's a wrap.